In this series, I'm going to show you how to complete Dark Souls 3 without dying. You can also use this as a very safe and secure way to get through the game. By following this walkthrough, you'll be able to complete this game without too much stress or too much hassle. My name is Azzavhar or Azza. Now let's get into the video game training. On this episode, we're going to pick up some upgrade materials and make our way through the swamp. So first of all, we're going to go this way, cast Spook, and make our way past these enemies just here. Roll off this ledge, pick up this item down here, Esther's Shard. We can cast Spook again just here. Pick up this ember, we can sell that. This enemy will aggro us. Pick up this item here, keep on running and rolling. Pick up this item just here. Behind the tree, and then bonfire last rested. So usually if you go behind that tree, it means that enemy can't get us or will miss us. It's usually safe. I've never had any problems with it before, but sometimes the enemy can be a little bit spicy and will follow you around the tree. Just keep that in mind. So we just picked up a bunch of upgrade materials there. It's not 100% required that you do grab those, but they do come in really, really useful. So I would recommend it. Hold up, let's just reset this position a sec. Ideally, you don't want to get any aggro there, so if you do get any aggro in any situations like that, always just Homeward Bone, just to reset enemy positions. So we have to do this bit a little bit faster. The Spook, run round, grab this, Crest Shield, which is really important. You get these green blossoms that crab may aggro in the distance there. Just be ready to roll through that initial attack if you need to. Head on through here. Right up these stairs. And then drop down. We're going to pick up these sellsword twin blades, which are vital to the run. We go up and round there so we can skip that knight there. We don't have to fight him. And then pick up this Farron coal. Then bonfire last rested. Back here and then Spook again. Gonna go here and line ourselves up here with the item just ahead of us across the water here. So look towards your right because the crab will make their way over to you. So perhaps dodge that when that's coming on in. This guy's looking a bit crabby today. And you want to run up towards this branch just here. That will make the enemy over there spawn in. And then when those two are lined up like that, next to each other, run forward a bit to pull their aggro and then pull them back. You want to lure them over into these woods. Grab that soul if you want to, and if it's safe to do so. And then we want to head back round. We want to go up this slope section there, which will make the enemies get stuck. So they will be stuck behind those stairs and they won't be able to follow us and chase us over here. Down the ladders. Light the bonfire, perhaps rest if you need to. Now we're in the swamp. So for this section here, we want to have the Crest Shield on instead of the parry shield or the target shield. And we also want to equip the dagger here as well. So for this section, we're going to be using Crest Shield on our backs and then dagger two-handed like that. So when you two-hand a dagger and you press left trigger, it has a weapon art which is like this little shimmy forward thing here. And we're going to be able to use that to get through the deeper swamp a lot easier. Okay, so first of all, run kind of diagonal forward and left towards this item here. You sometimes bait an attack there and grab the Estus Shard. And Titanic Shard there as well for upgrades. And then backtrack exactly the way that we just came from. You will get poisoned here as well, but don't worry about it. It's fine. Got plenty of Estus to heal yourself back up. So from the doorway where we started from, you kind of want to look for a bonfire forward and in the distance and head towards that fire. I don't think it's actually a bonfire, it's just fire. And then when you get to this deeper swamp, this is where we start using the weapon art, so it's easier to get through. You want to hug this wall here because you don't want to aggro that enemy there. Hug the wall, watch out for the fire. If you've hugged it tight enough, you'll get through nice and safely. Press this fire here. We need to press 3 of those in this area. So that's the first one. And then grab this homeward bone, where it's 2 homeward bones. Just keep an eye on your HP bar, so if you see your health is getting a little bit low or whatever, you can just pop an Estus. And then here, hug the wall to the right. Wait for this enemy to turn around just like that. So when they start patrolling back towards that way, and they've got their back towards you, start using the weapon art. Grab this Titanic Shard and then pull back a little bit. Keep on using the dagger to hop through. Watch out for some upcoming slugs. Pick up this Titanic Shard here as well. Dodge around these slugs. Usually on this bit, get some stamina back. Use the Estus. You can grab this if you're feeling cheeky. Grab yourself a Undead Bone Shard there, which increases the potency of the Estus flask heals. You can also grab that Titanite Shard just by the side of that bridge there. Run back. Up here. And we're going to pick up a bonfire. There we go. Rest at this bonfire. Then backtrack. Back down the slope. And we're looking for some ladders. Just towards the right here a little bit. This is where some of the fire bombs come in useful. You can throw those at these slugs. Sometimes takes a few to clear them out. If you need to, you can switch back to the air stock and just give them a quick poke to clear those out there, and then up the ladders. I'm going to grab a few extra items in this area just here. Some items used for upgrading the cell swords that we're going to be using for most of this run. You can get an extra 500 souls if you do manage to take this lizard out, but sometimes this lizard is a little bit spicy, a little bit tricky to get. You get a Twinkling Titanite, which you don't really need, but you can just sell it for souls, basically. And then there's a illusionary wall just here. Poke that. Grab these ashes. We'll be giving those ashes to the NPC in Firelink Shrine in just a second. So press this bonfire, and now's probably a good time to go back to Firelink Shrine. So let's go here. And we're going to get the sellsword twin blades sorted out a little bit so we can actually start using them. So, we want to go over to the NPC, the Shrine Handmaiden, and give the ash that we've picked up. So we've picked up 2 ashes so far in this run. There's one. There's the other. Just tell her whatever in the dialogue options, doesn't really matter. And we can sell a lot of stuff that we have already picked up so far. So if you're going for the Zero Death run or the Deathless run, you can actually sell all of the embers. But don't sell those if you want to hold on to those for safety in case you do die. Because then you can use those to ember up and increase your maximum HP if you're unembered. But we're going to go ahead and sell all of those. That's an extra 5,000 souls for selling those. And then basically just sell all of the souls that you have so far. Like so. You can sell the Twinkling Titanite that we just grabbed. Sell the club if you have the club. Make sure to keep the S-Stock for now, the sellsword twin blades, and keep the dagger as well. So these 3 are important for now. Keep the target shield and keep the grass crest shield. You can sell the Fallen Knight helm, the mirror vest, Fallen Knight armor, mirror gloves, mirror trousers, Fallen Knight trousers. That's it for now. Then we're going to do a little bit of upgrading on the swords. So we'll need to use these in just a second. So usually just... this is where we can use the coal and reinforce our Estus flask as well at Andre. So give the coal, and then what that does is allows us to infuse the cell swords with the sharp gem that we picked up earlier in the Undead settlement. So go ahead and infuse it with the sharp gem. Now we have the sharp sellsword twin blades, and you can reinforce the sharp sellsword twin blades once or twice. 2 times is fine for now, so we've got +2. Reinforce Estus with any shards that you might have. At this point, might have quite a few. So there we go. So we can switch over to use the swords instead of the S-Stock at this point. We do need to level some dexterity, however, so we can actually use the swords. So just a note with these swords is you can either use them with a shield and just 1 sword, or if you press Y, puts the shield on your back and you've got 2 swords. The way that I would be attacking with these swords is this way, having them 1 sword in each hand, and then I'm pressing LB or left bumper on my Xbox One controller, which is attacking with both swords at the same time. So you're kind of getting 2 attacks for the price of 1. And because we've made these swords to be a sharp version, the damage with these swords will scale up with a higher dexterity. So at this point you probably want to put 1, 2 or 3 points into dexterity and then spend those, because we do need to do some damage with these swords in just a second, so that's why we are getting them ready to actually fight with. You will also have Undead Bone Shards at this point as well, so press on Burn Undead Bone Shard at the main Firelink Shrine here. Forget how many you may have, I think it's 2 or 3. 2, so no more. That will increase the potency of our heals. So next we need to go back to the bonfire that we just came from, which is the old Wolf of Farron. Okay, so up these stairs and up the elevator or lift. Make sure to have your swords One sword in each hand like this. Because we're going to be attacking some crystal lizards, which we need for further upgrade materials in just a second. So up the stairs, just ignore that demon, that wandering demon over there. And then look for this broken section here. And then just keep on dropping down. This bit's a little bit tricky. You have to kind of push the crystal lizards in a certain direction. So you want to be pushing them up towards this wall a little bit here. The large Titanic Shard. Dragon Crest shield there. And then push this one into those claws just there. So grab that. Grab the items from around here. Lightning Spear. And that's it for now. So bonfire last rested. Then we've got a little bit left to do in the swamp. So we're going to travel to Keep Ruins, which was the bonfire just below these ladders just here. Okay, so a little bit left to do on this section here. What I would probably do is we may need to use a charcoal pine bundle here. You may not, but it's worth having that on just in case. I'll explain that in just a second. It'll make sense. So down this slope here, and we're going to be running and following this wall around. You may have an enemy chase you here, that's fine. Just keep running. Don't worry about the enemy. And then straight forward across this section here until you hit the wall. Follow that around. This is why we have the pine bundle equipped, because we might need to take out the enemy that's chasing us. And this pine bundle will help with that. Pick up the Titanic Shard here. The enemy sometimes does stop chasing you. So as you can see here, if we look behind us, then the enemy is not there. And where we step here is quite important, so go as far as here to pick up the shard, but just be careful because there's an enemy in front of you there. You don't want to go too far forward, or otherwise you will aggro the enemy. Ideally we're trying to get away with not aggroing that enemy. And then here, I'd recommend full HP. We're going to lure the enemy over and then try to take them out fast. Sometimes this bit is a little bit spicy, so there we go. So I hit that rock there, which aggroes the enemy just around the corner because they hear a noise. So just hit this rock. And then I used the pine bundle for a damage boost on my attack. This is why we kind of get the pine bundle ready. And it's also why we level up the swords a little bit so the swords can do some okay damage. So go ahead and press this fire here. So that's 2 out of 3 on those fires. And then backtrack a little bit. Don't need to worry about those guys over there on that bridge. Backtrack down here. You can once again S this up if your health is a little bit low. So this bit is quite important. You want to be going diagonal and forward to avoid this enemy just here. So it's kind of like a zigzag. Straight towards the Titanic Shard and then zigzag again forward just here. Usually that's quite safe and nothing should aggro. If it does, once again, you can use a pine bundle and try to finish them off pretty quick. So this bit we're going to walk forward to start this guy's patrol. Walk backwards. Going to cast Spook. And the enemy is doing a bit of a patrol here, so we're going to spook and then follow them. And because we've got Spook, they don't know that we're here. You can just follow them in line like so and then press the fire. And that's 3 out of 3 on the fires. The enemy will have no idea that you're actually here. And just use bonfire last rested. Okay, so that's the swamp section cleared for now. We've got the upgrade items and upgrade materials. The doors are open in front of us as well over there. So we're going to go ahead and press this fire and get one last level up and such before we go in for the boss fight. So Firelink Shrine. Boss fight coming up is the Abyss Watchers. So we need to prepare for that the best that we can. So sell anything that you may be able to get rid of, such as the lightning spear. You can sell that, and you can also sell the dragon crest shield for an extra 500 there. That's it for now. And then just check where you're at with your Titanite shards at this point. We want to be aiming for, I believe it's +4 swords. So we're currently +2 swords. So because we gave the ashes to this NPC, we can actually buy Titanite shards here. So this is where souls come in handy. So we just picked up one there, which allows us to reinforce. And now we are at +3 swords. We've also already got 2 large Titanite shards, which we picked up earlier. So we can press that again. And now we have +4 swords. So +4 swords is what we're going to be using for Abyss Watchers, so that's all good for now. We don't need dagger on at the minute, so we can get rid of that. And Abyss Watchers, you can use fire for extra damage, or you can use lightning for even more extra damage. So usually what I like to do for Abyss Watchers is have at least 2 lightning resins with me. We currently have 1 lightning resin, so I'm going to pick that up, so we've got 2. We've got 6 green blossoms, that's fine for this fight. And we've got a little bit of fire as well, in case we need to use that for an extra buff. Ideally, you want to use lightning resin in phase 1 of the boss fight, and then lightning resin again at the start of phase 2 of the boss fight. But we'll move on to that in just a minute. And then you want to get a few levels up. Oh, I forgot, we've actually got an NPC that we triggered earlier. You can get a bonus level here, and you do have to use this before we kill the Abyss Watchers. So as soon as the Abyss Watchers are gone, this person will no longer give us the free level up. So if you want to, you can press draw out true strength. It's quite important that obviously we use this NPC before the upcoming boss fight. You can pop that on health. Just 1 free level up.
Be safe.
On health is absolutely fine there. And then just follow this back up and around. We also need to level up with the actual normal and main way of leveling up here with the Firekeeper. So quite a bit of dexterity here. You could also go for some HP. Probably would say at least 20 dexterity is good there. This bit doesn't have to be 100% exact, so don't worry about that too much. Perhaps a couple on health, endurance, just pump those up a little bit there. So 13 at health, 12 endurance, 20 dexterity should be fine for this fight. There we go, so we are ready and prepared for this upcoming fight. So we're going to travel back to Keep Ruins. This will take us just in front of the Abyss Watchers fight. So from this bonfire, just run forward, straight towards these doors here. And run on through. I know this episode is a little bit longer as well, because this part of the game, it involves a lot of leveling up and kind of running around and grabbing various items from around the world to make sure that we are prepared. So this section here, just before we get behind these dark wraiths here, you can cast Spook or you can just walk. So don't aggro them. Just let them walk forward and take out all these enemies for you. You don't have to do anything at all. You just literally stand here and watch the absolute carnage that unfolds before us. Just give them a minute to do their thing. He's also gone over to the right there and took that guy out. Sometimes they will do that and sometimes they won't. It's usually good if they do because you get an extra ember, which is a bonus 1,000 souls, which is obviously quite useful. So for this next fight, we're going to be using this setup. We've got those rings equipped. The standard armor is fine. You want to make sure to have your lightning resin and perhaps fire as well. You may need fire, you may not need fire. It depends on how long the fight goes on for, but I guess we'll see. I've also got green blossoms equipped here as well, which we use before we go in for the fight and make it a bit smoother with the stamina management. So now they've cleared all that path, you can pick up this ember over here to the right. I use spook here as well. Take some stuff, we may be able to sell it later. So just before we go into this boss fight, I just want to mention once again, I do have a guide for this boss fight, which is separate to this video. So I would recommend checking out the full boss fight guide on my channel as well. So that section there, we just hit the wall and we've kind of lured this Dark Wraith towards us a little bit. It's not actually worked out very well at all. Normally they kind of follow you a little bit further around there, which makes it smoother for this section, but apparently it's not very smooth. That's fine, just going to go for it. So open the doors and roll so you don't get stabbed. And Abyss Watcher's fight coming up. Once again, the fully detailed version of this is on my YouTube channel as well, so I would highly recommend checking out the fully detailed version. So lightning. Green blossom as well if you can do. Well, it depends if you've got time to make it happen. Ideally what you're looking for on this enemy is a backstab and then a charged or a charged right trigger. Just waiting for the right times to strike here. Okay, relatively smooth, not too bad there. So phase 2 is initiated here. So you've usually got a few seconds. You can pop a green blossom. You can also reapply the lightning. It's not ideal actually, but there we go. So ideally you're looking for that move that he did there, that overhead kind of jump and slam, which is pretty much the move that we're looking for. That one there. So you just run underneath him when he does that. Get the backstab. Like so. Get the backstab. And that's the fight. Once again, like I say, massively detailed version of that fight on this YouTube channel as well. So if you want the fully detailed version, make sure to go and check out that other boss fight guide that I've got. And the next area coming up is the catacombs. So make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh my good god. can't poke me through a wall.